Yeah.
Where'd my share go?
I see your window.
I don't.
I see your main screen here of the technical
Oh,
class
here we
course.
go. All right, you see that one?
I do.
Must be having a little network congestion. Come on, come on.
There you go, Bob.
Huh?
Start from the first slide.
Oh, okay. All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you seeing the slides?
I am. Yes.
All right. We'll talk a little bit about activities. One of the big things, depending on the club and the people, is contesting. Probably most clubs have a lot of members participate in the contesting, and there's a lot of them. There's probably some kind of contest every week or every other week going on somewhere. And the purpose is to contact as many stations as possible in a fixed amount of time, usually like 24 hours, sometimes it's 48 hours. They may have some restrictions on the bands you can use, or the modes, or the power. In some cases, it's a contest where you have to use Morse code or CW. In some cases, it's single sideband. In some cases, it might be a DX contest where you have to make contact with people outside the country. And there's just tons of different contests. Normally in the contest, there's not much communications. You make a contact with somebody and you will exchange call signs, their location or the grid square, your signal report, and usually that's about it. Because the intent is to get as many as possible, so you don't want to spend a lot of time chit-chatting.
So that's.
Yes.
Lost those points. He forgot to write
Yeah,
all his stuff.
he didn't submit a log, so that was my most valuable contact of the day. So not only did I lose those points, I got penalized an equal amount of points.
Because you reported that you.
Yeah.
talked.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
It's fun. I mean, you can fill in areas on your map that you haven't contacted before. People are more inclined to take the contact even if they don't fully catch you the first time around, because they need the points too.
Sure.
If there's no contest, then some people will just pass you up if your signal's weak. So at the time, I'm only using a G90, which is only 20 watts. So yeah, I'm not,
Wow.
when I get on those far distant
Yeah.
Contacts, I'm not putting out enough power to really be strong and legible there. But I can usually get the contest information across.
It's usually going to be faster to make contact with a strong station than it is with a weak one, because you might have to go through several iterations to actually get the information. So strong stations will get first choice.
Okay.
One of the digital modes, like FT8, is almost like a contest, except there's no time limit. Because you're essentially doing the same thing. You're making contact with the station
Mhm.
using the computer. But you're
Right.
only passing call sign, location, and signal report, the same kind of information. So in that one, it's not so much how many you get per unit time, it's who you get. And you try to get all the continents, all the countries, all the US counties, all the different, well, so many in each country. You know, there's an award for getting all of Europe, Oceania, Asia, Africa, all those. Another one that clubs participate in, and we've talked about on the NASA Club doing one of these possibly this fall, called a fox hunt,
Mhm.
where you use radio direction finding to find a hidden transmitter called the Fox. And you drive around and try to triangulate where it is.
All right.
And also, a lot of times they'll do it if there's a noise source somewhere causing a lot of interference.
Mhm.
Could be a power transformer on a pole that's arcing over and creating a lot of noise, or some other piece of equipment somebody's running. I have something near me every once in a while. Across all bands, there's a little spike, 120 hertz, every on everything,
Interesting.
and then it goes away. This is a what they call a grid square map, or a Maidenhead grid of the United States. The grid squares cover the entire Earth, so they divide it up into these sections, which consists of 6 characters. You have 2 letters, which are the main block, followed by 2 numbers, followed by 2 more letters. In most cases, they only use 4. They don't always go down to the last 2, because those last 2 numbers will divide it down to within like a square mile or so. Right now, we're at EL 98. Let's see. I'm 1.5 miles north. I'm at PI. This is probably a different zone than that.
I'm at EL 98. Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about the last part, yeah.
And I would be a DM 55. Is that right? How I would say that?
It sounds about right. You
Mhm.
know the territory more than me, but yeah, I'd say that's New Mexico.
Yeah, that's roughly where I'm at.
Okay, up in the top left corner.
Yeah, near the Four Corners. This is the Four Corners region
Oh,
here.
at Four Corners.
Not quite to the Four Corners, but
Okay.
just below it.
Yeah, I remember Four Corners. That I used to listen to Imus, and he was big on. He had a lot of pictures of Four Corners, where all the geological monuments are, I guess.
Yeah, Shiprock and everything. It's beautiful out
Yeah.
here. We have $1 million view.
Okay, so what operating activity involves contacting as many stations as possible during a specified time period?
Delta.
Yes. Now, one of the other things in contesting, because you get extra points, and the way they score them, you get different points for how far away a station is and things like that. A lot of people in our one club here at Platinum Coast on one of these contests, they have a group that goes down to Curacao Island and transmits from there. They get extra bonus points. And plus they get to spend a week
I was gonna say.
on an island.
Sounds like something.
It's kind of a vacation contest. They say they work hard, but you know.
It's more fun there.
Which of the following is good procedure when contacting another station in a contest? Remember the point of the contest.
Yeah. Charlie?
Charlie. Do it as fast as you can.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What is a grid locator?
Alpha?
Alpha. Which of the following methods is used to locate sources of noise, interference, or jamming, or finding a fox?
Most logical, I would think, is Charlie.
Charlie. Which of these items would be useful for a hidden transmitter hunt?
Bravo.
Bravo. You can't do it with a whip antenna on a handy talker.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the techniques or protocols is called Voice over Internet Protocol, or VoIP. You might have heard of it. Some of the internet providers will offer you a digital phone
Mhm.
as part of the package.
Next to it.
Can I go through there?
Sure, you can.
Sorry,
No problem.
because I thought that was just the post office.
No, next one down. is
Okay,
Board of
sorry, I'm
Office,
so
and the
sorry.
post office is that.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
No problem. No
Thank
problem.
And those that digital phone service that they offer, like Spectrum and others, is actually using voice over IP, using the internet with digitized voice. There's a project called Internet Radio Linking Project, or IRLP, okay, that uses that technique to allow you to communicate with repeaters. And there's a second one called Echolink,
Mhm.
which also uses voice over IP. You do that one with a cell phone to communicate into the radio system. Whereas Internet Radio Linking Protocol, you're actually using your radio to
Mhm.
connect. But, oh, the other thing, because I think there's a question on Echolink, you have to register your call sign.
Mhm.
And of course, send them a copy of your license to prove that you really have that call sign in order to be able to access Echolink. I don't remember on IRLP. I tried it once. I don't remember what I had to do to set up. I don't think I had to do anything because it assumes.
I'm on Echo Link. I haven't thought of it.
This is a little block diagram showing the IRLP user with his handy talkie talking to this local node into the computer and as a gateway to the internet, getting to another node back to possibly a repeater, back to some other remote user on his handy talkie. So it's kind of like what we talked about earlier, a linked repeaters network. This is a picture of the Echolink app. And you can do this on your phone or on your computer. And you kind of select the country, and it's like a white pages. It'll list all of the people registered in that particular country or whatever you've selected. And you can pick one of those, and if they happen to be online, then you can talk to them. It's kind of like using your cell phone for international calling, except it doesn't ring. I don't think. Does it? If they're not online, they don't get a message, do they?
I'm not sure.
Because I know when I tried it with another guy, it was pre-set up, so we were both online. What is the Internet Radio Linking Project?
I think Alpha.
I think you might be right.
Okay.
Voice over IP is essentially the only way to do analog voice information over the internet. They have to digitize it.
Right.
What is the voice over internet protocol?
A lot of reading here. It's very wordy.
It is.
A set of identities linked over.
Yeah, always read all of
Alpha. I'm gonna go with Alpha. Some.
Are you sure?
Alpha? No, I am not sure.
You always know to take a second choice when Bob says, are you?
Charlie.
Are you sure?
No, Delta.
Delta.
Thank you.
And what's the point of this?
Huh?
Why would you do this?
If you want to communicate with somebody.
From very, very far away.
It's part of amateur radio.
Oh, it's just a different way to communicate.
Right.
Okay.
It's like using a repeater, except you're either using your handy talkie to get into the internet,
To talk to somebody that's.
to talk to
further
somebody.
like
Well, I
this.
mean, they could be next door, but they could be on the other side of the
Okay.
world. Like using DMR, D-Star, same kind of setup.
Okay.
And
can you use this when you're contesting?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't, and I never heard of a
okay.
Echolink or IRLP contest. But normally they only allow you to use, it's going to be a CW contest, a RTTY contest, which is radio teletype, a single sideband.
Okay.
What else do they have, Dan? Those are the basic ones
What's that?
on the types of contests. CW, SSB,
SSB.
RTTY. Because I tried a RTTY one once, but I didn't.
Okay, I just,
I don't know if
There's
a
probably
separate
some
one
others,
with
but
FTA
those are the
contest
main
or not.
types.
Yeah, the main ones are CW and SSP.
okay.
What is required before using the Echolink system? And this is because everybody has a cell phone, so
Mm-hmm,
they don't want everybody doing it. You have to be licensed.
okay.
Charlie?
Charlie, which of the following protocols enables an amateur station to transmit through a repeater without using a radio to initiate the transmission? It's the basic difference between the two we talked about.
Mhm.
Alpha?
Are you sure?
Oh. Oh gosh. I'm still waking up here. Wake up, where's my coffee?
Now remember,
Delta?
IRLP, you use your radio to talk to a node. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so the other one that I won't mention uses your cell phone to talk to the internet and then to a repeater.
Echolink Delta?
Mhm.
Yes,
Okay, that's my other one. Now I have a quick question before we could continue.
okay.
So the repeater, if I was to purchase my own repeater, that would connect to my router for the internet?
If you wanted to connect it to other repeaters on the internet, yes.
Okay.
You have a separate piece of equipment called a gateway
Uh-huh.
that the repeater would be connected to get it into the internet.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
that's what you have with the digital modes like DMR and D-Star and Fusion. Those repeaters typically are connected to a gateway to the internet so they can talk to other DMR, D-Star repeaters, other places in the world by going through the internet.
Okay.
So if you
Wow.
set up your own repeater, yes, you could do that. Now, it's not as easy as you might think.
Oh,
But
that's
you could do it.
That's the diagram that was with the network connection through the antennas, the repeater to antenna, then to the internet connecting computers, to another repeater and antenna.
Yeah,
That diagram was showing us that.
right.
Okay. Is that that was what you were talking about earlier? For the-
Well, yeah, in the case of the IRLP, or Echolink, they call those interface to the internet node. Okay, so it's different than actual repeater in that case, because you're talking to that node to the internet and then possibly to a repeater.
Okay. I'll do more research on that. Thank you.
Okay, whereas the gateway is normally what a repeater connects to get onto the internet. And then you'll go through another gateway to another repeater.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Like in a lot of these modes where you have a keypad, where you're punching in numbers or letters, if you're familiar with the old touch-tone phones,
Mhm.
they use the same technology, where it's a mixture of two different frequencies. So if you see up at the top, there's 4 frequencies across, and over on the left-hand side, there's 4 frequencies down. So if I were to press the number 1 button, it's going to send out a 2-tone signal of 697 hertz and 1209 hertz, which gives you that distinctive sound. If you remember on the touch tone phone, and they sound a little odd. It's not a pure tone because it's 2 different frequencies.
Mm.
So that's the techniques that's used to encode those buttons in these modes doing Echolink or IRLP. And they're called DTMF. So I just kind of gave you the
Mhm.
answer,
Mhm.
but we didn't talk about it enough. So how is over-the-air access to IRLP nodes accomplished?
Mhm.
To Bravo.
Yep. It's called dual tone multiple frequency. What type of signaling uses pairs of audio tones?
Oh, great. I just forgot. Alpha.
Yes. CTCSS only uses 1 tone.
Okay.
Continuous tone, what was it? Constant squelch?
Squelch, something squelch.
Yeah, I can't remember the whole thing. What is an amateur radio station that connects to other stations on the internet?
Alpha.
I believe that's correct.
Mhm.
Okay, so we talked about contesting, which essentially is within whatever the rules are for that particular contest, to contact as many stations as possible in a specified time period. And they're typically 24 or 48 hours. You want to send the minimum amount of information that's necessary so you can get the maximum number of contacts. And one of the pieces of information is your grid locator, which is your location on the worldwide grid map, which is, in most of the contests, you're only required to send 4 characters, 2 letters, 2 numbers. They don't normally go the full 6,
Mm,
as long as they get you in the county.
okay.
Radio direction finding can be used to locate sources of interference, or as in a fox hunt where you're finding a hidden transmitter. Use voice over IP technology or digitized voice to send it over the internet. So IRLP and Echolink both use that technology. The basic difference is Echolink uses a cell phone to connect to the internet, whereas IRLP uses a radio. We call the IRLP access points nodes, and that's where the DTMF signals come in when you send those messages with those tones. And we call a amateur station that connects to the internet a gateway. It's actually usually a separate piece of equipment
Mhm.
that connects to the repeater. But it could connect to your radio,
Mhm.
because you could set up your radio as kind of a repeater
Mm.
or a simplex one.